Alright, today we're going to be replacing the radio, the stock one, in our 2008 Mark V Volkswagen Jetta Wolfsburg. Should be the same for almost any Mark V Volkswagen. This specifically just happens to be a Jetta. And I'm also going to be replacing some of these trim pieces. Ours is all scratched up here. I have some nicer ones I found at a local junkyard. And even this top piece has a broken clip in here, so that doesn't hold on too well, and it's cracked up in the top corner. So just gonna replace all of that. The replacement radio is a Boss. You can see it right there. It is from Crutchfield. Has the dash trim kit to fit the strange Volkswagen sized opening, and then soldered up the wiring harness and for the radio and the antenna and all that. We're not doing a backup camera or anything fancy like that. Just plug and play, plug the antenna in, and the USB cord for the Apple CarPlay. All right, and let's get into it. All right, these dashes and trim pieces come apart pretty easily. I've done this a few times before. There's a little mat up in this top compartment here, and it just slides out. As you can see, this little plastic tray cover just comes out. Set that to the side, and then there are two screws that hold this whole top piece down in there. And every screw in this job is all the same. They're all a T15 Torx. I got my Craftsman screwdriver here. It's easiest to use one of these handheld screwdrivers instead of like the Allen keys or the multi-tool Allen keys. And yeah, none of them are super tight, so I just use this one and it makes it go pretty quickly. So remove these two, and I'm just going to put all the screws here in the cup holders in the center console so I don't lose any of them. Now that those screws are removed, there's clips behind there and there that hold this piece in. Mine on the right hand side is broken, so that already pops up. And I, in this instance, have a benefit here of it being cracked in this back corner, so I can pretty easily just get a start on popping this out here. I believe, unless it pops up in the front, I can't remember. It's been a while. Okay, let's see. Oh, maybe it's this side that's broken. It's this side. And I just start pulling up on that, and I'll be right back. All right, so I just took the screwdriver. It'd be easier if you had like a panel interior trim removal tool, and this side was broken on mine. You just stick it in there and just gently push in and pop up, and then I slid this screwdriver just across through here, and then it just popped this tab out of there. This tray actually pops out of this, and there is a screw somewhere right in the middle here that actually holds this surrounding piece. So I'm gonna use the wrong tool for the job here, and basically take this knife. Again, this is where a trim tool would come in quite nice, but you know, use what you have. And just try to do the least damage to any of the plastics as you can. And this thing just pops right out of there. Also set this to the side. And there's that last screw I was talking about right up front. And then this whole piece will come off. All right, once that screws out, you should have 3 screws removed. This whole piece kind of pops off. You can actually just, if you're not replacing this whole piece, you can just set this to the side with the wires. But in my case, I am replacing this whole dash piece. So this clip under here, push those 2 tabs in, and this slides out, and that's for the airbag, passenger airbag sensor light. And then for the 4-way flashers, if you push this tab in right here, I believe, and this whole light, whole button, rather, should just slide out. Okay, I was right about this. So there's a tab right here down on the bottom, and then there's one up in the top there where you can't see 180 degrees across this connector. Gotta push both in together. Just put it right out. And then you can see the wiring is clipped into here. So you just want to pop that clip off, and this whole piece is removed and ready to be replaced in my case. Then the next thing that we're going to do is that screw and that screw need to be removed. And then this piece here around all these buttons and holding the radio, there's 4 screws holding the radio in behind there. It can come out. You will have to be careful as there's metal clips that are plastic welded onto behind here. And so this piece I already know has a few broken, which is why I'm replacing it. Here's the one I found at a local junkyard. It's in pretty good shape. It's got a little bit of wear marks on it, but it has a lot less scratches. And you can actually see here all of these tabs that are plastic welded on. I actually had a couple break when I removed this at the junkyard, and these have all been pretty heavily super glued back on, and that's what we're gonna do here. So basically just pop these 2 screws out, and then I'm going to use my knife again and carefully remove this piece. Once you've run your trim popping tool, knife, whatever, around the edge and popped most of these loose, you'll see that it just comes right off of here. And you can see I have broken missing clip there and there and there and there, and yeah, that's it. So, you know, about half of them are missing, so that's why we're getting rid of that piece. And then to pull the radio out, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this just slides out and unclips right on the back, and we'll be ready to put the new one in and start routing the microphone and USB lines. All right, the stock radio is removed. Here's the wiring connector. It has a clip on it. I'm not exactly sure how it works because I broke my clip pulling it out, but this put this on and it actually draws it in tight when you pull it closed. Mine still closes, it just doesn't latch shut anymore. And then both of these antenna wires, they both came off. You had to pop these plastic tabs out on both of them, and then you push the tab in and they just pull off. There's 2 of these, and I only have 1 antenna piece on the other new harness. So we're gonna have to try and see if I need both of them, if one works, or what the deal is there. But I think what we're gonna probably do is just bring the new radio over here and just plug it in and just see if it works first. So I'd rather not go through this whole process and find out it doesn't work. So let me try that out real quick. All right, so a quick test here. It does power up with the key on, and that is the one reason I don't have steering wheel controls, as you can see. I didn't think I was going to need one of these like CAN bus boxes wired in, but Crutchfield told me I did. I kind of thought that they were wrong, but it appears that they're not, because a lot of these kits require weird wiring to retain your accessory power. Otherwise, you could leave the radio on forever while the car's off and kill your battery. However, if I turn my key off here, pull it out, the radio goes off. So it retains accessory power, which is amazing. And as soon as I turn the key back on, the radio just powers right back up. So far, everything seems like it's working. I'm probably going to test the radio or Apple CarPlay off camera, just so I don't have to deal with playing any music I can't play on here. But I assume it works so far. And if you see me putting it back in, then you'll know that it works. All right, I did test this radio. Everything works. Apple CarPlay works great. One quick note though. If you do intend to use Apple CarPlay, you do have to have an Apple, or at least I would imagine an Apple certified cord. I had the one that was in here previously. It's an aftermarket one. Kept telling me it was an unsupported device. I thought CarPlay wasn't working, but I grabbed my charger from my car that I know is Apple, and it worked flawlessly. Sound quality is great through the speakers in this car. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do now is this USB is all bundled up back here. I believe what I'm going to do, I would like to run it out into this little compartment down here, but I don't really want to drill any holes right now. I may down the road. I think what I'm going to do is push it over to the right in here. I believe I can get into the glove compartment through somewhere in here. Something I can do to make, you know, not drilling too many holes. And then the microphone, which is in that little bag here. In the last car I installed a radio in, we did stick it right up here. However, this piece comes off in here, and this one's broken, so I may mount it on the back of the steering column here itself. If I'm feeling real adventurous, I may run it up here and do that. But I'm thinking I'm gonna mount it somewhere around the dash. All right, quick update. There's 2 USBs on here. One is for charging, and I think that's about it. And the other one is for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It also charges, but I wanted to run both of them. They went basically straight to the right over here, up above the glove box. And if you look, there's a little tray here. This is where the owner's manual goes. I do have one. I just took it out for the video. And I was able to fish them up there and grab them with my fingers, pull them out, and I have both USBs just hanging out in the glove box right now. That's where these are just going to live for now until I think of a better solution. I'm just going to sit right in there like that. And now the microphone is next. That might take a little bit more time and creativity to figure out. And also the antenna, I can't say that this is the right or wrong way as of now. I have it connected to the like tan, desert, sand kind of colored factory connector. Mine on the new harness is the bluish green one. The white one here, I don't have connected to anything. I tested the radio and it works seemingly so far, so we'll see how that goes. All right, I had to get a little bit creative here. I did decide actually I'm gonna mount it on top of this piece. Yeah, it's gonna be what it is. I'm feeding the microphone end rather than the headphone jack end from this way towards this way, because I knew I wouldn't be able to reach. I didn't want to tear the whole dash apart, and I know I'm not gonna be able to push it through that way. And it was getting pretty tight down in here, and I was able to get the microphone in, but I couldn't get my hand in there. And so what I ended up doing is I have this little grabby tool. I don't even know what this is called, but I have this in here, and actually I believe I have it lodged on the microphone at this point. So I'm just gonna start pulling it through. Start wiggling. My tool is definitely broken, so I just pinched myself pulling that out a whole bunch. But we'll get this way obviously out of here, dump that off. Grabby tool over there. And we're gonna clean the surface up real good and get it stuck onto there. All right, after a lot of debate and back and forth with myself, I ended up placing the microphone right here. From my seating position, this is about what it looks like. And then I'll take the microphone plug-in end here. All right, the radio is screwed in. All 4 of those screws are back in. I've got my new, to me, all clips included radio trim piece here. So we're gonna take this and carefully just snap it on. Whole way around. All right, everything is installed. I have my wire with a little bit of slack going to the microphone. All the trim bezels are in, fit nicely. The texture and color of the plastic is almost exactly right. My new dash pieces are installed. These go back together the same way they came apart. They just pop back in there and that clip goes in. All this goes back together just like it was before, except it's not broken in my case now. And yeah, I mean, everything works about how I believe that it should. And you know, just the final deal here, and done, just like that. I mean, everything works, comes on. I had it turned on, so it fires up with the key and the ignition and turned on, and it takes just a second while it's turning on. Got my cables shoved in the box there. And let's see, that date might actually even be right. The time is right, so I'm assuming so. If I turn it on, and there we go. Everything works. So far, I'm pretty impressed. But yeah, wasn't too bad. Took me probably 45 minutes, an hour total with recording. However, I have taken this apart like 4 times now to get the parts from the junkyard and installed a junk radio before that didn't work. So might take you a little bit longer, but yeah, only tool you need is something to pop trim panels off and a T15 screwdriver. A little bit of patience.